Hi, this is Courtney and Mazios and Barham, and it's time for We Know Everything, almost, with your host, Cook.
Hi, welcome to another episode of We Know Everything Almost. I'm Cook, and our guest tonight was unable to make it. Something came up at the last minute, and he had to head south to Gulfport. So we're going to try and get Mr. Ramsey again one night. And if you've got any questions you'd like to ask him about the fair tax, go ahead and send those to us. You can send them to us through our website at weknoweverything.com or email to producer@weknoweverything.com. And we'll take care of those questions and make sure we ask him and find out all we can about that. So today we're just going to have an abbreviated show because I was planning on him, and of course I didn't do any extra work this week because I had planned on everything with fair tax. And I don't want to cover everything about fair tax without Mr. Ramsey because he's the expert. Though I have studied it some, and I think it's a really good idea. I'm going to let him explain it another day. So you can go to fairtax.org and find out some more about it and find out whether or not you like it or not. Today we're just going to cover a couple things. This coming Saturday, if you're down in Jackson, Mississippi, come down to the state capitol at between 10 and 12, and they're having a 9/11 rally. Bill Marcy will be speaking. He's the candidate for District 2, for the congressional candidate. He'll be there, and I've been invited to speak. It's been put on by the Byram Tea Party, who James Broadwater is the head of it. And he has told me that we will be giving away free tea. He's bringing about 13 gallons of tea, so there should be plenty for everybody. Come on down, have a good time, and come and just show your patriotism. Also, in 2 months, there's a very important election coming up, and we want to be sure that everybody gets out and votes. This is probably going to be one of the most important elections of your lifetime. I know it's going to be one of the most important of my lifetime, besides the time I got to vote for Ronald Reagan. That was my first election, so I really was happy about that. But this was going to be very important because this is going to kind of set the tone for the future. We've had a Democratic Congress and a Democratic administration that has been going through and passing all kinds of spending bills and taxation bills, and this has got to stop. Now, to be able to vote, you have to be registered. And the deadline is actually October 2nd because the election is on November 2nd, and you have to register 30 days before the election. And so you can go down to the circuit court, you can go to the state Secretary of State's office, and we'll also have a link on our webpage. Actually, there is one. I put it this afternoon, to where you can actually just print out a PDF. Then get that to the circuit court, or the circuit clerk in your town, so that you can get registered to vote. Now, of course, I'm hoping that you'll vote conservative, but get out and vote one way or the other. We really need to make a difference this election. We've got to put in some good conservative people to turn a lot of this around and to stop all this excessive spending. Today, they've introduced another jobs bill, another spending bill. It's supposed to do on transportation. They're going to spend money to build railroads. Going to spend money to renew roads. This is all good ideas, but where's the money coming from? It's coming out of your pocket. They're talking about $50 billion more. And we're already trillions of dollars in debt. Your kids are in debt already, and your grandkids and your grandkids' kids, they're already in debt. We've got to stop this. And so it's important that we put some good conservative people in there and to block a lot of this spending, to try to reduce the spending, to turn around some of the things that have already been done. So it's time. We've got to get out and we've got to participate. You can't sit back anymore. We can no longer be the silent majority. We've got to get our voice. And we have been through the Tea Parties, 9/12, Patriotic Resistance. All of these organizations are working hard to get the word out about what's happening in America. And right now, things aren't looking real good. If any of y'all have read Atlas Shrugged, if you'll noticed it, if you haven't read it by Ayn Rand, it's a really great book. It's a really long book, but if you read it, you'll see a lot of parallels of what's happening today. How things are really, for lack of a better term, going in the toilet. And that's the way it's going to be. You know, in January 1st, the Bush tax cuts are supposed to be eliminated. And if you've listened to liberal politicians, they'll tell you this is not a tax increase, it's just a rollback. Now, if your taxes go up, it's a tax increase, whether it's a rollback or not. So we've got to put people in to stop this. The Bush tax cut should be made permanent. It was lowered it, you know, and we need to actually lower taxes more. History has proven that if you lower taxes, the economy boosts. More money gets put into the Treasury. Why? Because businesses will release their money. Right now, they're holding their money because they don't know what the future is holding for us. But when you let businesses create jobs, not the government can't create jobs. It's got to be the private industry. They're what's going to turn around this economy. So call your congressman, call your senator, tell them we need to keep the Bush tax cuts. We need to make them permanent. In fact, we need to add more to it so that this economy will turn around. There's a lot of things coming up this weekend. If you go to the Mississippi Ning, it's Mississippi Tea Party Ning site, they've got a lot of things listed. It's msteaparty.ning.com. There's things in Hattiesburg, there's things in Tupelo, there's things up in Greenville, all over the state. Participate. You know, if you're in Jackson, come on down to the state capitol and see what's going on there. We're going to have a great time for a couple hours. Then you can go on about your Saturday, go home, mow your lawn, trim your hedges and stuff like that. So, well, come on out, show a little bit of your patriot, you know, side, so that we can really get this thing turned around. Also Saturdays, you know, we meet out there. And if you're in Byram, the Kroger parking lot, come on out. Tea Party Rangers out there. I try to get out there every week and sit for a little bit with them, with Randy May and them. You can find out a lot about what's going on. We got some good arguments that come up, but friendly arguments, you know, discussions. So come on out. We've had Bill Marcy stop by. We've had the mayor of Byram stop by, Nick Tremonti. So there's a lot of things that are going on throughout the state. Get involved. Find out what's going on in your community and just do something. We can't sit on our butts anymore. We've got to get up. We've got to make a noise. We've got to stop the socialist movement. Somebody told me the other day they're not going to call Democrats no more. They're going to call them what they are, socialists. So we have the Republican Party and supposedly the Socialist Party. So, and maybe not all Democrats are, but there's a lot of them are showing that. So it's time for us to get up and be heard. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, get out, tell them, make sure to vote November 2nd. Very important election. Now, on November 3rd, don't just sit back on your, and go, well, we did it, we've done what we can, let's move on and do something, forget about it. Next year, we have state elections coming up. We're going to elect a new governor, the lieutenant governor, state representatives, state senators. Got to get involved. And the year after that, we have the presidential election and also, once again, more congressional and senatorial elections. So it's a never-ending cycle. But we've got to keep on our guard. We've got to keep forward. We've got to keep moving. And it's up to you. It's up to me. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this show, to get the word out. Tell your friends about it. WeKnowEverything.com. Come on out, let us know what you want. If you're interested in doing your own talk show in your own neighborhood, go to SureFireTV.com. That's our producers, and let them know. We'll put you online. Just send us your video, and we'll get you online, get you set up. Well, I believe that comes about to the end of the show today. Like I said, it's an abbreviated show. It's short because I was hoping for a guest, and I didn't get prepared like I should have. I apologize. My fault. I should have been ready just in case. Next time I will be. Next week, I'll have an interview with Nick Tremonte, the Byram mayor, find out what's happening in Byram and what's going to be going on with the future. Hopefully, maybe we can get some answers about this water bills. I don't know about y'all, but mine went up, I think quadruple just about in 1 month. And so I think this is all Jackson getting back at us because we decided to become a city and not be annexed by Byram, because I've lived in the same place for 5 years and there didn't seem to be a problem with it. Now all of a sudden there is. And then the following week we have James Broadwater. He's running for state senate. He's going to be out. Like I said, he's the head of the Byram Tea Party also, and a leader in the Mississippi 912 project. So we'll find out some things about that, find out about his campaign. It's still a year away for that, but we got to get started now. Once again, trying to get some good conservative people in our state Congress or state legislature so that we can turn Mississippi around. Right now, we're not hurting as bad as some states, but there's a chance that it could go from here. So be sure you come out and come out to Byram and Amazio's on Monday nights about 9 o'clock. We usually tape. Come out, become part of our audience. We'll even let you talk, sometime, and give your opinion and ask questions of our guests and see what's going on. Well, that's the end of the show. This has been We Know Everything, and now you know something. Have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye.